Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for June 3rd through the 9th, 2024. So, as we start, I'd just like to, first of all, thank everyone who is returning to this weekly series, and to also welcome anyone who might be new to our Angelic Wisdom community. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you have subscribed, select the all notification bell, like, dislike, and of course, leave your comments. If during the course of this video you would like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. And if you'd like to support my channel with a donation, you can use my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom LLC. These links you will find in the description area beneath this video. I've also just recently posted the general monthly reading for June. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, please do. Again, I think it's another really important one. And the link will be the first one that you see in the description area below for that video. And this week, during this week, the 3rd, I will be working on the the angel scopes for the 12 zodiac signs. So let's take a deep breath. And just connect in with your angel team. And it's interesting because I'm seeing a group of beings in white robes, and they're the robes go all the way down, even over the hands, and so they're holding their hands up in front of them, but it's covered in the robes, and not quite sure who they are, but maybe it might be revealed. But we do have these beings present with us today as we go through this process. So let's tune in to their energy and just place your hands over your heart, and with the intention of allowing your heart to fully open and be activated. And you might want to see roots that are gold and silver going down into the pink crystalline heart of Lady Gaia. And just breathe and relax your body. And be open. Let your heart just blossom. The petals of your heart chakra just open up and completely enfold you in the white, pink light. Just see the light emanating from your heart chakra. And receive the transmission from your angel team that is surrounding you now. And so they place in front of you a sword that is standing in the earth in front of you. And this is energetic. And it seems as if it's offering you an opportunity to really stand in your power and to really honor your truth, to put your light out in the world with every bit of clarity, honesty, and integrity that you can muster for yourself. It takes courage to be authentic, to be true to yourself in every way. And it takes a great deal of trust in yourself and in what you know is right for you, the right choice for you in every moment. So life is constantly presenting us with choices. And those choices come out of our own desires, out of what we give our attention to, what they come out of our clear boundaries and sometimes our lack of boundaries. They come out of a mix of attractions to your own focus or point of attraction. But no matter what this mix is in your life that you've created, you still have a choice at the moment of their presentation. You still have a choice. This means that you are always free. No matter what you've drawn toward you, you're still free to choose. Your free will is still intact in a pristine manner. And so they write that word courage again. And it's the courage to honor your truth. And sometimes it feels like your courage is being tested. But only you know what's your truth. Only you know what is right for you in any given moment. Only you know what is right for you to express, or for how your life should how you want to experience life. And everything is a reflection of you, but you still get to choose, even from your own reflection. You get to choose what to focus on, what to highlight, and what to, I don't want to say ignore, but what to step away from. Because you never want to ignore anything. You want to be aware, and then you want to be able to either move towards it or move away from it, knowing what it is that you're moving away from. And the way to really let it go if it's not of any benefit or use to you is to acknowledge what you're stepping away from, meaning appreciate the choice that you made to leave that alone, and what were the reasons in how it would not serve you best or would not align with who you truly are. And you're appreciative because you're aware of that. And being aware of that means the next time you will be even more aware of it. And each time that you really are fully aware of it and you're more resolute that this is not a door that should ever open for you or be available to you, it will just no longer appear. But if you doubt, if you struggle, if you're tempted, you keep bringing it into your reality. And so eventually, if you are truly honoring yourself, you will only be presented with the things that align with who you truly are. Right now, there's a mix because we're not really letting go. We're either ignoring it, which means if we ignore it, we don't know what we don't know what it is. We're just afraid to look at it, and it's just going to be there on every step of your journey. It's going to be present wherever your choices are available to you. It's going to be a part of the mix, whether you see it or not. But if you see it and you choose not to go in that direction, and you become more resolute, or until you become absolutely resolute, it will then no longer be offered. And this can happen with all of that mix of things eventually till they all mostly are not present. Because why? You have no need of them. Oh, you didn't know that? Nothing is there if for some reason, whether the reason be for good or be right or wrong, let's put it that way, you need them there. Yeah. Sometimes we need those, we don't need them, we don't want them, but we need them there. The people, the wrong people sometimes that keep showing up in our lives. Say, what? I don't need them. They wouldn't be there otherwise. And maybe because you don't believe that you deserve better, and and therefore you need them there because a part of you believes that you don't deserve better, and so the need is met to help you to believe what you want to believe that is not true. And so that's why honoring your truth and being courageous and facing everything, facing all of your choices, because only you in the facing of them can put them aside or invite them or reject them. You have to do that sometimes enough until you believe you deserve better. And the universe keeps giving you that until you are sure, absolutely sure. Remember, we attract these situations to ourselves, and we are the only ones who can remove them. It's like a programmer. If you wrote the code, you have to write the code to remove it. Nobody else can do it for you. No therapist, no healer, no angel reader. That is not what any of us are doing. We're just presenting the wisdom that might allow you to let go. You are your healer. That's why one of my mentors said to us, it's not your fault if your client heals. And it's not your fault if your client doesn't heal. Now, the angels were showing me at the very beginning the number 8. And so this is about abundance. But remember what abundance really is. It's whatever you need. And the idea that whatever you need will always be supplied at the right moment. It also implies and it reminds us that you are full of abundance. Your soul has so much to offer your life. And so we must tap into that and believe in it and have courage to exercise it as a part of our truth. Now, abundance is not just money, it's ideas, it's opportunities, it's blessings, it's your gifts. It could be skills or talents. It could be something that you're now curious to learn or curious to do. It's like a dance where all the pieces are moving together and you are one of them. And the facets of you are also a part of them. And the universe that's created and the non-physical universe, all of it is collectively abundance, always filling in for each other in some way. So if you understand that, you understand that you are already abundant, prosperous, and successful. And truly successful in the sense that you are, even when that part of you that's focused on what you want isn't happening for you, or you're not doing what you wanted to, you feel like you should be doing it in your life. But you being who you are in the moment, with the way you are, is still like it's like gears, like all these gears that turn, but they turn interdependently upon with each other. Like each are moving the other, and the other is moving the other, and others, and so on and so on. All the gears are moving at the same time, and all the gears are influencing all the other gears of movement at the same time. So there is no moment where you are not fulfilling purpose. Therefore, your life is technically abundant, whether you recognize it or acknowledge it or want to see it that way or not. Whether you are feeling so low about yourself that you just want to have a pity party, as my mother used to say, you're still serving a purpose. It's this whole thing, unfortunately, when we decide, when we choose to be disappointed in ourselves, and we choose to be unhappy, because I can say that because I've lived it. I live it a lot. And I know that, and in a way, doing this is my way of taking a stand, taking that sword of truth, and having the courage in the midst of all of that to know that if I show up, I'm remembering who I truly am, even though that other part of me is trying to tell me something different. So the number says, the number 8 signifies abundance and prosperity. The endless loops in this number signify an infinite flow of money, time, ideas, or whatever else you require, especially for your life purpose. Like when you think to yourself, oh, I don't have this or that, but you have some of this or that. Even if in your mind of scarcity, it's all tied up and seemingly stuck and not flowing, it's still available to you, and it's energy. And energy that is being influenced by the way you are seeing things in the moment. It's stuck because you are stuck on something negative. Or it is stuck because you are stuck in a behavior or actions that is tying everything up. And you can free up those energies that you have by releasing the action or the attitude or the belief that you have. And what you have can not only start to flow, but also expand as it flows. And you just have to be mindful never to pick up those behaviors or attitudes or beliefs again. You have to face those things with courage while focusing on an ever keeping in being mindful, like a mantra, of what your truth is. You have everything you need, but sometimes we tie it up by the way we believe, by the way we behave, and our attitudes. The way to really access abundance is to first unbind yourself in these ways. Simply, in a more practical language, maybe, you would reduce excessive expenses that are just draining you. You know, and in our society today, we have a lot of subscriptions now. I mean, I don't have a television because, boy, I grew up when television was free. I know it technically still is, but it's not really being used because it's not that great. However, I'm not going to get a subscription for nearly $100 just so I can see television per month. I don't need that at all. And I've had to learn to live on a small budget and realize since I stopped working, and one of the things I realized is like, wow, there's a lot of stuff that I actually don't need. If I were ever to have a bigger budget, I would feel like a billionaire because I would not need to start just because I have the bigger budget to get all of those things. But it's just not that one thing. It's also belief. Or how, you can be a billionaire and be bound up in your mind and your heart so that you're afraid of something. And then it makes you work a certain way. It makes you live your life in a certain way that's just as drastic as someone who has very little in their bank account, or their bank account is always in the overdraft. Reality has more to do with our inner responses and beliefs and attitudes towards life than it has to do with the actual possessions that you think are required to be sort of classified as rich or poor. All right, let's take a look at the Archangel. So this is the Archangel Dorenka, who is a universal archangel from another universe. And he works with the bats, as you can see. And these bats, like all the animals, have they've come to our planet. They all have missions and goals that they're here to explore, just like we are doing here. The message on the card says, hone your psychic abilities and see through illusions. It is very clear that we are having to really, and when you look at this archangel, his energy seems very intense. It's as if, like the bats, right? They're usually in these dark caves, sort of hiding out there. And yet, it's sort of like this sense like we have to really go into our inner shadow, those places within us where we are hiding really, as the bats have these honing sort of skills, great honing skills. Like every animal, just like your soul, your ego, in truth, as I was just told in my meditation before, is like its own power animal. It has its own gifts. Your personality is how people are drawn to you. It's the personality. They see the personality as this asset. And so within the inner cave of your soul, or your inner world, you are hiding or concealing a unique facet of yourself that is now wanting to come forward. It relates to what your soul has come here to learn. And this is very different from our sort of public life ambitions. This is about the things that your soul came here to learn, to heal from the many lifetimes. This is the sort of I want to say reconciliation, an opportunity to reconcile imbalances or karma that the soul has created. And so these are very much related to soul contracts. And there are gifts that will not only be a gift to your life, but a gift to others. And this is really about, as it says, seeing through the illusions. In the way that we just discussed about abundance. The things that you're struggling with and you want to try to ignore, or you allow it to make you sort of unfulfilled or depressed because you can't get around it, and you feel like it's like some monster standing in front of the doorway, the only exit in a room, dark room that you feel stuck in. That monster standing in that doorway is an illusion, one that you projected. Because whatever that power is that you're holding inside of yourself, it's so powerful that you're afraid of owning that power. You're afraid of what's beyond that door and all the ways that it's going to call you out and cause you to be greater than you're ready to believe at this moment. If you've been feeling stuck in some facet of yourself, this is the opportunity right now to step out of that cage and to discover just how free your truth will make you and how receptive the world will be for what it is that you have to reveal to them. I know this is very kind of cryptic, but it's about facing these things, looking at the actions, the behaviors, the attitudes that have got you on sort of lockdown. And just one step at a time, be yourself. Listen to your heart. Make changes that will free you up, unburden you. And then enjoy that little extra room of freedom, one step at a time. It's a process. But your goal is to just keep walking towards the sunlight. Because that sunlight is your personal light, your soul's personal light. And it's been shining in at you all this time while you were in this illusion that you were alone or unsupported or unloved or without resources and without support and etc. It's all a ruse. And the thing about this liberation that's so important, ultimately, the ultimate soul contract or goal is that each one of us, as we walk into that sunlight of our truth, of our soul, the entire world will be liberated collectively. And we will accelerate our personal ascension and planetary ascension, and dare say, ultimately, the universal ascension. So it's time to not live in this world of illusions. It's time to be free, and it starts with just being true to yourself. That's it. Each day, be true to yourself. Make the choices that are right for you. take all the time you need. Stop thinking about human time and focus on divine time. You don't ever have to feel like you're losing the battle or that you need to give up or there's no point, because divine time is whatever you desire, whatever you have unwavering faith about, it will come to pass. You just have to stay on that path. Just like we were talking about the process of just step by step until you enter, follow the sunshine, and until you're fully immersed in it and free. Okay, so let's take a look at the card. Wow, and this card also came up for, I did yesterday, the writing for Monday, and this came up. The Six of Cups. It started our week last week in the daily card readings, but here it's popping up as a daily card, and in our weekly reading starting off the week. And this is a card really about, and I'm probably not going to remember what I wrote about, but I do hope you check it out because it's long, but it's really important. It's really valuable information. And they were talking about, we got to stop living in the past and start living in the future. Living in the future now. That was the essence of the message. And this might sound like old news, but it's something we really need to hear, and it can't be emphasized enough. Right now, when we say you're living in the past, it's because you're giving your attention and your focus to all the same things. That it's like reading a newspaper that was written 50 years ago as your daily feed. What are you going to gain from that newspaper? Especially when it's your life, your pain, your drama. Well, where attention flows, right, energy goes. And so you're basically creating the past in your present. You're bringing it up. It becomes a part of that mixed bag of attraction that you're getting. And living instead in the future, but now, is about really going to the future, seeing yourself thriving, happy, passionate, excited. Observe your attitude, your practices, etc. And then bring some of that back to start your day. You don't have to bring it all back, but definitely make a note of it all. And then start with the pieces that just kindle a spark for you. And now, put in those practices or the attitude or whatever it is that you notice, the change of belief, making that a part of who you are today. Because that is how you actually create the future. By bringing the practices of that future, what's making that life work the way it's working. And it's how you create the future, by bringing those things into your life. It's when you'll really start to become free of the past, because you're no longer giving attention to that, because that's where most of us are stuck. We don't know how to forgive ourselves, or we're just holding on to grudges or holding on to whatever, and then we're fantasizing about the future, but we aren't doing anything. We aren't taking any of the knowledge from the future and implementing it in present time. So our present is just a limbo. It's a limbo for whatever sort of realities that we're sort of, and we're not really what it does, what being in limbo really is, to get more specific, it's just inaction. In the present, there's no action, there's no change. You're sort of what's that, you're sort of on autopilot, basically. You're repeating. And what you're repeating, where are you going to get those repeats from? Past. So you're repeating the patterns of past. You're doing the same things you've done since a long time ago, and you're dissatisfied because there's no change, but at the same time, you're afraid of change. See the weirdness of that? But this card reminds us of that beautiful sunshine that's within us. Remember when you were children. And this is another aspect. Don't be afraid of the unknown. Oh my goodness. Look at our time. Don't be afraid of the unknown. As a child, nothing was known to you. And everybody was saying, don't do this. But it made you eager to do it. Here we have the card balance, or justice rather. And we just see these scales. And in a way, tuning into your childhood imagination. But remember, as a child, when you imagined something, you played, you enacted it. And that's literally the same thing you have to do here. To balance out all of those, this will help to bring you out of that cave. This will help you to find more balance in your day, your present day reality, because you are not just imagining or sulking, but you are playing. You are doing something that gives you pleasure. You're building, establishing what you want. And there's that sun again. It's sort of at the head. So pay attention to the thoughts and the ideas that are coming to you, because that is the abundance that the universe is trying to offer you to help you to balance out your life in the way that you want it to be. But if you ignore them, and it's just sort of like, it's flowing in from all sides, And we have this peacock here, this symbol of pride and inner beauty. You have to focus on yours. You have to focus on your inner beauty. You have to take pride in the attributes and the qualities that you have, so that you can actually access them and use them to your advantage. And here we have the Eight of Cups. And this is just a sort of a sense of, don't be afraid to move, to move on, to move where your heart is guiding you. It's sort of like this mer person is being drawn by this star, but there's that mountain which might represent sort of those, so that you're following a path of enlightenment, but it also can represent that obstacle, that hump that you have to get over. It's both, but it's worth it. There's a rainbow sort of at the pinnacle of all of this. More color in your life. And it's never wrong to want to bring more into your life, more pleasure, more love, more joy, more money, more whatever. But follow your heart. Listen to Make the choices that are right for you. Don't just follow a pattern that others have created and are following too. That's what we kind of tend to do in our society today. And FOMO is a part of that. It's like, oh, everybody else has it. I don't want to miss out, right? So somehow the video cut off today at 45 minutes and 14 seconds. And I had started with this card. I don't know if a little bit of this got cut off when I was talking about this. I listened to it and, I was just talking about FOMO or something like that. So I'll just try to see if hopefully I'll be able to connect all of this together. Um, so here I was talking about this card as the card I had already pulled from the bottom of the deck, the Ace of Cups. And what sort of came to me was that they want you to focus on this week emotional fulfillment. And this is a card of initiating something, right? The aces are about something beginning, or the beginning of a process, a new opportunity coming to you. So there's a new opportunity here for you to focus on emotional fulfillment for yourself and what brings you joy, what brings you pleasure. Focus on what it is that you truly desire. What is your intention for this week, for bringing emotional fulfillment into your life? It could be love. It could be joy. I was seeing the word peace. And so what I was describing, what came to me in that moment was, let's say, you want to have peace of mind. You want to have a little bit of money left over in the bank each month. So maybe you look at some of your subscriptions or some expenses that, maybe eating out, that you start cooking at home, that could just give that sense of emotional fulfillment, meaning a sense of peace in your life. It could be that you just need some time, more time in your schedule for yourself to do something that you enjoy, like if reading or playing music or drawing gives you peace, or certain relationships that just aren't healthy. Sometimes it's people that are associates in our lives, right? People we just associate with. um, you don't have to keep you don't have to like nurture every kind of relationship in your life. you know we can't be everything to everyone. So maybe there's an organization that just creates a lot of drama in your life on a weekly basis, or and just maybe it's time to just say, I'm taking a break. Tell the group, I need to regroup, I need to do some things for myself and focus on myself. And when I'm you know in a better place, I might reach out to you. I might kind of thing. Begin. This is the same thing as looking at the future, seeing how you really would be more satisfied and more fulfilled, emotionally fulfilled in something, in doing something else. See what in the future does that for you, and then bring the qualities of that, if not the actual specific thing that you're doing, and start trying to do something in regards to whatever that is, so that it becomes now the future, in the present. And remembering you are there are infinite possibilities for your future, but you have to choose one. And by not selecting all the others doesn't mean that you're missing out. And that's another thing about FOMO too, is that we don't we neglect emotional fulfillment because we're so focused on what everybody else considers fulfilling that we don't pay attention to our own truth, and we've gotten out of practice. And that's why we have a lot of things burdening our personal freedoms, because we are making a lot of choices that are just about the fear of being sort of left out of something, right? Um, like, oh, if everybody else has it, it's making them, it looks like it's making them happy, I should have it. And then you have your time and resources all tied up. So look at how you can unbind yourself, whether it's relationships or subscriptions or whatever it is, right? So that you can restore emotional fulfillment and start building a lifestyle that is emotionally fulfilling. And you will know that by the way it clicks within your heart. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful week. God bless you.